Good morning, happy Monday morning. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Happy birthday to you, even if it's not your real birthday. We only have one person whose real birthday it is today though, and her name is Lucy. I won't try and pronounce the surname, although it's something like Madajova. I keep saying I'll never pronounce the surname, but then I do it anyway. Anyway, happy birthday to you, Lucy. We wish you a happy birthday with the breathing exercise, and then we'll get on to the title of today's thing, which is your beliefs may be true for us, but they're not necessarily true. We'll come on to talk about that in a minute. But first of all, the breathing exercise. Blow out the one candle, 5 through the nose, hand on your heart, light the candle on your left hand while you're holding your breath, and then blow out the candle. And wish yourself a happy birthday, wish Lucy a happy birthday. If you want to do that full thing through, do what's made you smile, what have you achieved, what are you going to achieve, what's made you grateful, and happy birthday to the people you know in your life, or the whole world. It's up to you. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Lucy in a minute because she's going to form part of this story in a moment. And I'm hoping I won't get too many people walking their dogs behind me because it'll be slightly embarrassing. But I'm in a specific position because I want to talk about that path in a moment as well, about talking about these beliefs. So we have these beliefs and they are true for us, but they're not necessarily true. Classic thing, of course, for children is Father Christmas. Now, whether or not Father Christmas actually exists in real life, I think we as adults, we know the answer to that. However, the concept of Father Christmas does exist, and so there's an interesting sort of dilemma there. It's like, what do you tell the children? Because at some point they have to recognise the fact that in reality, this guy living at the North Pole who delivers presents to every single household in the entire world, all 7 billion households in one night, doesn't make a lot of sense. Of course, they try and do this in the movies with time slowing down and sort of sciencey type stuff. But in reality, the story that I would tell my children when I do have children is that this Father Christmas character did exist originally, and there was a small number of people, and the whole myth existed and it was real. And then what effectively happened is that he outsourced the delivery of the presents and the recognising as to whether you've been a good boy or a bad girl, to the parents. So it then becomes the parents' job. It's been outsourced to the parents, and then now it's the parents' job to deliver the presents on behalf of Father Christmas. When the children start to ask the questions, so I wouldn't tell them, obviously, because I like the whole myth thing. It's kind of fun, and I haven't been through it yet, so I don't know what it's like, but I can imagine what it must be like. But that's a belief that the children had at some point, and then at some point that belief changed and became. They learnt more about the world and the world around them, and that belief changed over time. Thank you for the viewers who came on, by the way. That was very nice to see you, but shame you couldn't stay. But yes, so and these beliefs come from our parents. Later on in the comments, I wanted to have a Rubik's Cube with me, and I didn't have one, and I thought about it on the way up here. I thought, oh yes, wish I brought it with me now. But imagine this Rubik's Cube, this solved Rubik's Cube in front of me, this imaginary Rubik's Cube. Just imagine it's all solved, it's all neat and tidy, and everything lines up perfectly. That's like a baby's mind. And then what happens is, of course, the parents come in and say, hey, you can do this move, you can do this move where it does this and this and this, and then you can move that piece around like that, and you go, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then you have a go at that. And then eventually, and then somebody else says, oh, but you can do this other move, that can do this, and then that can work as well. And you go, oh, cool, yeah, I like that. And somebody else says, oh, you can do this other move, and you go, well, hang on a minute, how can I do that move and that move? Because those things conflict, they don't make sense. That's like the Father Christmas and reality thing going on there. You've got conflicting thing going on here, and suddenly your brain goes, what? This isn't right. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. Got an app on my phone. For some reason kicked in, and anyway, never mind, doesn't matter. Anyway, hello, back again. So we've got this disconnect, and we've got these things, and now the cube is all messed up, and it's got colours all over the place. It doesn't line up very nicely and neatly and tidily. And then you've got to try and figure out how do I fix this. But when you've got the disconnect, sorry, that's where I was at the disconnect between, okay, I've got this one belief and I've got this other belief that doesn't match this belief, and that's when we have this problem. It's a cognitive dissonance thing going on here, and what happens is that one of those beliefs will win, and we'll say, this is the belief that's really true, this is the belief that I believe, and this is what's real for me, real for us, this is my belief, and this is the way I believe. And the classic one on that, of course, is religion. It's like, Christianity versus Muslim, for example. You go, my God is the right God, and no, my God is the right God, and my system is the right system, and no, my system is the right system. Scone and scone, you could even take it down to that level. You know, do you put the jam on top, or you put the cream on top, or you put the cream on top and then the jam on top? You know, different belief systems have different ways of saying things. Do you call it a bun, or do you call it I can't remember what the Northerners call it, but what do you call a white bread thing that looks like a circle? It's a roll. Is it a bun? Is it a bap? Is there some other word for it? Do you use it different words? These are belief systems that we grow up. We grow up learning these beliefs, having these beliefs. And then when somebody else comes along with a different belief, a different way of thinking, you go, whoa, that can't be right. This is the way it's always been. This is the way things always are. This is my belief, and this is the way I believe. That's not the right belief. That's the wrong belief. But so for that other person, this is the right belief. This is the way the world works. You know, you put the jam on top, you don't put the cream on top. And you say, no, you put the cream on top, you don't put the jam on top. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? And you have these arguments, and then obviously comes to religion and all that kind of stuff, and then we have these big fights over time. And it's always about this. I have this inherent belief that and the reason I have this belief is because this is the one that I've said the most often. This is the one I've told other people most often. It's the one I've done the most often. And then when somebody else comes along with a different belief, it's like, oh, this has got a tiny little belief like this. It's not quite that bad. I'm just going to block this lady out. It's a tiny little thing here. It's not quite the same as the one I've got this big belief that I believe in. And this is the main thing. Morning. So yeah, and it's the disconnect between those two things and how you can read it. And this all comes from when people say neurons that fire together wire together, and that's those neurons firing together because you've repeated this pattern so often, you've told this story so many times. Now you don't want to believe anything else that somebody else says. So somebody else comes along with a different belief, and you go, this isn't true, and then you'll dismiss it and you'll just throw it away. And then this is where you get these entrenched beliefs, and you go, this is the only way it can be, and any other proof doesn't fit this. I'm not going to believe it. I'm going to dismiss all the other evidence that doesn't follow this belief. And then you have fights with people over these beliefs, and that's, you've seen this on the internet, particularly in these COVID times. Is COVID real? Is the vaccine safe? Is it not safe? Should we be taking it? Are mandates good or bad? What about masks? Do they really work? Do they not work? All this kind of stuff. And you get a belief in place, and then it becomes entrenched, and then you can't change your beliefs because you're not willing to rewire your brain. Because you classically have this thing where parents say, don't hang around with the wrong crowd. Why do they say that? Because they don't want you hanging around with drug dealers and bad influences. Well, why is that? Because the people that surround you, they have they will form your beliefs, and they will create the Rubik's cube of your beliefs, and then that will become entrenched, and that will become your way you believe that the world works, and it becomes hard to change that, and it becomes hard to change that. So it's like building roads in a city, or a path through the park. Hence why I'm standing in this position here, right here. So you see this path right through here. You'll see there's a body of water over there, and there's also a body of water on this side over here. Now if you join those two bodies of water together, so this path is the easiest way from the top of the park down to where I'm standing right now, the easiest way. The slightly harder path would of course be around the water that side, or around the water that side, and then across the two bridges that come to where I am right now. But if you knock this path out of the way, and you knocked the water body through and took that path away, nobody would try and take that path anymore. Even if the map, and you came on Google and said, there's a path here, I should take this path, and you go, well, there must be a path here, and you come in, there's just water, and you go, well, I'm just going to walk across the water anyway. Nobody's going to do that, are they? They're going to walk around the water, because that then becomes the easiest path. But if you then put maybe a rope bridge across instead, then you might say, oh, well, actually, I might have a go at this. A few adventurous people might just have a go at a rope bridge going across there. And then you put like a little planky bridge across there, but it's wobbly, and so some people will go across it, some people won't. It's big gaps in the middle, people won't want to go across it. And then you put a slightly more sturdy bridge down there, and then more people will go down that. And then that becomes the easy path for people to take down that route. And so that's what you're doing, is you're firing that neuron together. You get more people going down there. So it's a more popular route, so now people will more take it. So now you build a more concrete path, you build a road, you make it easier to walk along the path, like that lady behind me is there doing. and it becomes a path that's then familiar and easy to go down. You take that path away and it becomes dark, and you go, whoa, this isn't right. You try and put a blockage up there, like a different belief. And you put a gate there, and you say, no, this is the way I always go. I'm just going to jump over the bridge, the gate rather. You can't put a gate there. This is ridiculous. This is the route I take every single day. This is the way my brain works. This is the belief that I have. You can't change it. But as we know, our brains are plastic, and then hence neuroplasticity, and that's why we can change our beliefs if we want to change our beliefs. That's why if you lost your right arm, if you're a right-handed writer and you lost your right arm, you would learn how to write with your left hand. It would be difficult, it would be hard at the beginning, but eventually you would get the hang of it, and eventually you would be able to do it, which is why you have this problem that once you've got one belief, or you've got this entrenched belief from childhood that you need to change because it's unhelpful, it's an unhelpful belief system, most of us are not willing to put in the committed effort to change that belief, to change that habit, to change that unhelpful habit into a new habit that we then become empowering going forward, because it's comfortable, it's what we're used to, it feels good, it feels nice, and the change is not comfortable, it's not nice, it's not fun. But we have to commit. If you want to change to the new belief system or the new action or the new habit or whatever, it's difficult. So solving a Rubik's Cube is really hard to start with. It's like, oh, I've got to try and remember it. And I was teaching this 10-year-old boy the other day. I'm not sure if he was 10, but I'm going to say 10. And you could see that he was moving it, but as he was moving it, he was then twisting it, and then he was getting lost as to which move he was doing. No, and I kept on saying to him, look, hold it like this with your thumb and your finger, and then move this, and then you won't get lost. Your white top's on the top all the time. You won't get lost with the moves you're doing. Oh, yeah, great. And then he'd do it again, and he'd twist it, and he'd go, oh, because I want to, like people want to see the piece as it's moving around, so they turn it so it moves the piece, but then they lose their fingers and their hands, and then, oh, you've got to put it on hold it in the right way. It's really easy to do the move. But you don't have to know where the piece is. You can twist it like this. If you want to see what's on the bottom, you can twist it up like that. Don't twist it up like that and then switch your hand around. No, just twist it. Anyway, and eventually we got there. But he had to do this thing. But you see, it was hard to start with. It was difficult, like riding a bicycle. Riding a bicycle is difficult to start with. There's a backward bicycle thing that goes the wrong way when you learn how to do it. And a guy did this, and he played around with it. I'll send the link in the description below. I've done it a few times before. johnvdenley.com/backwards bicycle is the actual link. And it's all about learning how to ride a new type of bicycle. And he found it was like months to do it, but as the young child, his son found it much easier to learn how to, because it's like a small tree. It's much easier to pull out a small tree and plant a new tree, whereas when you get to these big trees like this one over here, for example, that's really difficult to pull out of the ground, because it's got a big root system. It's been there for a long time. It's entrenched in its belief system, in its neurons. So anyway, that's all from me for today. Oh God, I forgot to talk about Lucy, didn't I? Oh no. Okay, so let's do the love. And Lucy, for the Instagram people who will be missing out on this bit, check it out on YouTube if you want to see the rest of it. But Lucy, okay, so Lucy came to England. When I first met her, she was visiting a friend of mine called Monica, and we met in Cheltenham. And Lucy didn't speak any English. She came from the Czech Republic, and I met up with her. I wanted to say hello to her, and I couldn't say hello to her because she couldn't speak any English, so Monica was having to translate, so it was all very awkward. Monica has now gone back to the Czech Republic, and Lucy has stayed in England. Or I think she went back to the Czech Republic and then came back to England and then stayed. And she now lives in Oxford, and obviously she now speaks English. So she's now learnt English, and she's made a life for herself here in Oxford as an artist. Very good artist, go check her out. Beautiful, colourful paintings that she does. It's fantastic. Very vibrant and alive. It's fantastic. But she now speaks English, so she's come here and she's gone away from learning, saying, no, I'm not going to bother learning English. It's too difficult. My belief system is I only speak Czech. But she came to a new country and she now learnt a new language, and now obviously she's surviving successfully in the UK, speaking English presumably on a daily basis, and I haven't met her since she made the move, so I'm looking forward to talking to her at some point and speaking English with her and finally being able to have a conversation with you, Lucy, in real life. That would be fantastic. Anyway, happy birthday to you, Lucy. I'm curious to know whether this has gone over 15 minutes or not. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, who knows. Anyway, that's all. That's the story I wanted to say, and that's about learning new patterns and new belief systems. Did she believe that she could live in England? Did she believe that she was going to have a life over here? Who knows, when she first started. A whole new way of looking at things. Right, that's me done. definitely going to say goodbye now. Sending you all the love in the world. Have a lovely Monday, and I will see you tomorrow with some other information. Bye for now. Oh, one last thing. The Blinkist book of the day today is about Black history in the UK. Really interesting. I heard somebody on the book, apparently there was a bookshop owner who said, no, there was no black people in the UK before 1945. But then it turns out there were black people from many, many years ago in the UK. And I was just, again, one of those little belief systems that the history books told them one thing, and in actual fact, the truth was something different as well. That was another little piece of information I was going to put in there. Blinkist book of the day. Listen to it every day. It's fantastic. Bye for now.